A new month is coming upon us here next week. We're going to take a look at seasonalities, how August has performed, how we can expect September to potentially perform. That may be a bit different given that there will be rate cuts coming, but we're going to look at it anyways. We're going to look at it for SPY, IWM, TLT, which is the bonds, as well as Bitcoin and Ethereum. And then we're going to take a look at some Bitcoin charts as well as some Bitcoin miners. I'm going to show some that are showing me some concern versus some that are not. And then I'm going to close it up with MicroStrategy and NVIDIA. So first of all, we're taking a look at seasonality here. Oh, and of course, before we get going, smash that like button. Subscribe if you've been with us for a while and haven't done so yet. Check out the Trade Cave store, link in the description as well as the channel bio. Let's get going. All right, SPY. You can see here that in August, you can see all these returns. Currently, we're up 1.48% in August. The average return for August is actually a negative 0.39. So we're coming in well above average here for August this year, but we did come in well below average for July last month here. The average was 3. We came in at just 0.95, so we might be making up for some lost ground there. But notice that September the average is a minus 1.13%. September is the worst month of the year historically, so don't expect to see any meteoric rises here coming out of September. It's usually the time when we start to see things fall. And remember, September 5th, I believe, is when we start seeing an end to the corporate buybacks this year. So we might see the last 3 weeks of September might be the aftermath of that situation, seeing things come down a bit in September. But of course, it's kind of like hit or miss for September. You can see here there are green months in September. It's about, almost half and half for red and green months in September here throughout the years. And you can see that October, generally a pretty good month. November, clearly the best month of the entire year, after with July a close second in July, and April, not even a distant third from those two. So that's what we've got going on with the SPY. We're looking at a little better than average returns for August, and September we can expect things to get a bit rocky, so we'll be paying attention to that and seeing how that shakes out there. Let's take a look at IWMs, the small caps. All right, so in August so far we have performed minus 1.48%. The average is minus 1.36%, so we're coming in right on par there. All right, not bad. We've got September is generally about 1% down, and it again has about a similar mix of red and green months, red and green years, excuse me, for September. So that's about the same. And then October comes in at about 1.32%, and November again showing that huge move up to 3.76% in November is the average for November. November is way far and above the best month of the year for IWM. So it looks like, maybe near the end of September, if we see some lows in September come through, it might be time to consider purchasing stock or in whatever you want, or some sort of whatever asset you're looking at, and holding it through into November, potentially into the very beginning of December here. And of course, none of this is financial advice or a suggestion to buy, sell, or hold any asset whatsoever. It's just a bit of analysis here on seasonality. It looks like September is a great month to buy and hold through November. Let's take a look at TLT. TLT has a lot more going on here. Let's see, August, it's up 3% this August. Let's see, generally it's up 2, so we're up more than usual this month. We were up more than usual last month. Now, rate cutting cycles aren't as often as as some other things. So seasonality on the TLT is a little different. Let's see, September, still bad. October, often the worst month for TLT. That's very interesting. And then the best month being August, which is real interesting. And then November comes in at, 0.96. I do think that we will see a better September and October this year for TLT, simply because it will be a rate cutting cycle. And let's see here, when did we get some rate cutting last time around here? There would have been some, there would have been some cutting here in 2009. Yeah. When was some other, like 2016, there's a little bit. Yeah, it looks like the back end of the year is not so great for, historically, not so great for treasuries. We only had 2020 was a good year in September, then 2015, 2013, 2011, and 2010, and 2009. Those are the only months. And then on October, it's even worse. Only 2013, 14, and 2021 are the only years since 2009 that it's come back green. So that's interesting. Oof, don't love that. It's very like all over the place. I guess it really depends just on the rate cutting cycle, right? And when they're doing it. Okay, let's take a look at Bitcoin real quick here. So Q3, we're coming up on the close of Q3 here next month, not this month, but next month. Right now we are performing Q3 in 2024. We are up 1.14% on Bitcoin when the average is 6%. So we've got about another 4.6% up to go to reach the average move for Bitcoin in Q3. So we could be looking forward to that potentially in September. And we're going to scroll down a little bit and look how it performs in September here throughout the years. Let's take a look at Ethereum. Ethereum, the average is plus 0.1 and is down 22% this quarter. That's pretty brutal for Ethereum, if you ask me. 22% down. Now, it's not unprecedented. It's been down more than that in 2019 and 2018. It's been down more than that in 2018 and Q1. I mean, there are other quarters. When it's down big, it looks like. And then when it's up big. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see these down months followed by some pretty wicked up months on Ethereum. But we're not going to spend too much time looking at Ethereum. Okay, monthlies. So August for Bitcoin is generally a plus. This is Bitcoin, right? Yeah, Bitcoin. Generally a plus 2.34%. We are currently down 1.15%, so we're coming in lower than average here. September, the average is a minus 4.78%. There's only been 3 Septembers in Bitcoin's history that were green. Will this year be different? I don't know. There's only 2 years in the history of Bitcoin where both August and September were red. Is this going to be one of those years? Usually it looks like when that happens, it is a pretty big negative. So if we're looking at this, we might be seeing like another 5 to 10% down on Bitcoin in September if that's what happens. But then if you look at October, it's generally up 22%, 22.9% on average, and in November a 46.8% up on average. So again, September and October, October and November are the months we're looking at here for Bitcoin. Let's take a look at weekly returns. All right, let's see where we are on the weeklies. I'm curious here. All right, so on average, the week we're on right now is up 1.5%, and we're currently down 1.38%, doing the exact opposite. Next week, generally down 2.22%. We'll see where we land. The next 3 weeks, it looks like. So the first 3 weeks of September, generally on average, are down. And they're down 2.2%, 2.66%, and 3.15% respectively. And then it's followed by a gang of positive weeks going through, honestly, almost to the very end of the year. There's only one more week in the year. It's the second week of December. It's the only other week in the year after these next 3 weeks that is on average a negative week. So that's pretty interesting for Bitcoin. We've seen September is bad, October is generally good, November is generally really good. The next 3 weeks, according to the weeklies, is going to potentially be pretty bad here. Does Ethereum only get the quarterly treatment? It looks like Ethereum only gets the quarterly treatment. Oh, well. Oh, wait, no, you can do it. You can do it here. Ethereum. All right, monthlies for Ethereum. Generally, August is up 6%, and we're down 17%. That sucks. Pretty rough August for Ethereum, but that should be good for my Bit Digital in terms of bringing it down again so I can buy some more. That would be nice. September also generally down about 7.67% for Ethereum, followed by a positive October, November, and December. Usually it looks like Ethereum likes to front run here. It looks like January, February, March, April, and May are the big months for Ethereum, with averages in the double digits for every single one of those months in the back end of the year. For Ethereum, not looking so hot. Usually down, mostly up a little bit, and with a few down months sprinkled in between. Let's take a look at the weeklies real quick on here. All right, generally this week we're up 3.75%. We're doing pretty much the opposite of that. Next week, down 5.54%. Is that the worst week of the year? It looks like that might be the worst week of the year potentially next week for Ethereum on average. That sure does look, yeah, next week Worst week of the year for Ethereum on average. So interesting. I might have to queue up some buys for Bit Digital there if Ethereum is the drop, since they're the big holder of Ethereum. And it looks like quite a lot of down weeks here going into that. So that's seasonality. September's generally complete trash. And then we go into a good October. And honestly, the October part's usually good in the second half of October, going into November. November is just usually just awesome. So let's get ourselves prepared for that one. Let's take a look at the Bitcoin chart right now, though. This is a 2 hour. I don't want to look at a 2 hour. 2 hour looks bad. No, let's take a look at the daily. The daily on Bitcoin. So a couple of things I like, a couple of things I don't like. So we've got what looks like the makings of a bull flag there, but the problem is here that we printed a white bar on the MACD down here, and we are currently over on the RSI. I don't like that. Now we're on some EMAs here. The blue one's the 5, green is the 13. No, green is the 50, orange is the 13, red is the 200. I put this one together today. I'll fix those colors later. Anyways, we hit the 5 EMA and bounced. That's actually a pretty good sign, especially coming out of this formation here. Let's go ahead and especially on this formation here. So we had a cup and handle, right? Boop. And then we shot off that cup and handle, and now we're forming a bull flag. I do like that. That looks good, but we do need to hold where we currently are. We can't go any lower. Honestly, we can't go any lower than $61,811. Any lower than that, we're going to revisit 60,000 and potentially into the 50s. So we do need to hold above that. If we can't hold above that, then we're going to go lower. So prepare yourself. And we're going into the worst month seasonally for pretty much all of these assets here next week. So again, prepare yourself. Be ready for this. Don't be surprised by it, all right? And we need to get up and above $65,000 for this bull flag to activate and send us higher, potentially up into the high 60s, even to the 70s on Bitcoin. So again, we're going into the worst period seasonally here in September. So, get your seatbelt on and prepare yourself mentally for what may come here pretty soon. So now I want to take a look at some Bitcoin miners. So CleanSpark, I don't like what CleanSpark is doing. Now the MACD is showing greatness and, showing like no slowing down whatsoever, right? The RSI also pretty much just about in bullish territory, also crawling up into that bullish territory pretty handily. The issue, this is the issue, and I'm sure some of you are already telling me what that issue is, and that is this formation right here. Okay, that formation right there is a bear flag. We are watching this bear flag right now. And if price decides to, let me get it on there nicely, if price decides to break beneath this channel, while also going beneath some very important lines, like in this case, that is the, is that the 13? I've already forgot what these colors were. Yeah, the 13, under the 13 EMA, we got that 13 EMA, or that 5 come up to the 13 and come down on the EMAs. We're going to be looking at this thing revisiting. All right, come on, buddy. There we go. We're going to be looking at this thing potentially revisiting about $11.50, maybe lower, maybe as low as this right here, maybe as low as 10.28. Okay, so that's really important for us to watch that. And I don't like that because it's a bear flag, and it's not doing like this. Like IREN, I like this one a lot more. I like what's going on with IREN a lot more than here. See how it came up and it's creating a flag. As long as it doesn't go back below $8, that flag stays intact, that bull flag, and if it gets above 687, the bull flag activates and it goes up. Currently, it could hit 919 before it gets into any amount of trouble, and potentially even higher than that before it's, once it gets above that 919, then there's really not much in the way all the way up to about 1126 again. Let's turn on the fib bands here to take a look at that. Okay, I'll use my mouse. It'll be easier. Okay, let's look at the fib clouds. Yeah, same thing right here, right? It's got to get, so we're at the 200-day moving average, and we're hitting the mid ATR band. We get above that mid ATR band, that is bull flag confirmed, and we're opened up all the way up to about 1050, all the way up to the top of this range here. On CleanSpark, if we switch over to the fib bands, let me go ahead and just close that out. There we go. We're super far away from the 200-day moving average. It's all the way up at 1469, but we got the mid ATR band here, and we're forming a bear flag as we hit that mid ATR band. We haven't even come to it yet, and we're already trying to reject. I don't like that for short term. I think potentially in September, if CleanSpark comes under any like bad news or anything, we might see this thing come back down to like the 10s, maybe even tap the high 9s. I don't love it. It's not good for my CleanSpark position. That would put me in the red on my CleanSpark position. I'm just barely holding on to some thin gains on my CleanSpark right now. But that is something that is a reality in the cards here, that we could, if we can't get up to $13 and get over $13, and I'm talking like this week, early next week at the latest, then I would be looking at some bearish action out of CleanSpark, and that is the same with Mara. Mara is doing a very similar thing. Now, we did get that little breakout candle, but the fact that we could not get anywhere above it today was bad. That's bad, right? It was weak. It was weak sauce. And if we come over here, yeah, we come here, we draw this. Actually, I don't like that anymore. I want this to be about right there. Yep, that's what I want to see. All right, so we are currently slightly above that channel, aren't we? No, we're just in it. We're just barely inside that channel at the very top. We couldn't break out of it. Now, there's a few things I like about Mara more than CleanSpark right now. That mostly being the fact that the price is above the mid ATR band, which is at $17.76. We're above that, but we did touch it, so we're not broken away from it yet. We need to open above it without touching it and move on up and away from it. Otherwise, we are not detached from that mid ATR band, and we haven't broken it, and we could come back beneath it. So this is not us being safe. This is us trading at the very top of the range of this ascending channel, and we could easily find ourselves get rejected and find ourselves all the way back at the bottom of this thing, which would be at $17.14. And if we break that channel to the downside, we are likely going to revisit about $15 on Mara. Okay, now where we are is better than CleanSpark, okay? We're better than where CleanSpark is on Mara because we are in bullish territory on the RSI. The MACD is still pointing up. The MACD looks very similar to CleanSpark, but we are above that mid ATR band, heading towards the 200-day moving average, which is currently at $20.53. Now, we could potentially pull that off. Now, I do like that on this doji candle that we printed today, that the tail is longer than on the top, right? The wick is longer on the bottom than on the top. I do like that. That means that the bears beat them down and the bulls pushed back. That's really good to see. Now I want to see tomorrow opening somewhere clear above $17.76, and I want to see it not even look back at that. Otherwise, I will be considering that this is going to try to curl over and revisit the bottom of this channel, potentially even the bottom of this bigger channel here at some point, which will be higher than the, it'll be a bit lower than that one in a couple of days, but it's still around that $15 level if it does decide to revisit the bottom of this channel again. And that would be weakness and something we don't want to see right now out of this thing. So that's my big concern right now. Okay, I'd like to see some bull flags get formed on the CleanSpark and Mara chart, something similar to like what's showing on IREN, and then I would like to see, like a week or two of that, and then an explosive move above that flag in order to be like real confident in that move. Okay, let's take a look at MicroStrategy. So MicroStrategy burned me a little bit today. Let me turn on my fib clouds. Yeah, MicroStrategy burned me a little bit today. I got in somewhere around this one right here, around 149, 150. I sold a put for 148, and it went really well for about 2 hours. And then it came right back down, and now right now I'm negative $215 on that 148 put. Now I'm not too concerned because I can wait till like Wednesday, maybe Thursday, and if it comes down to like, because it's currently in the money, if it comes down past 144, like if it goes under 144, then I'm going to consider rolling it out another week, selling it at the money at 144 or 143, at the money, rolling it out a week, and then collecting, basically the same amount of premium that I collected today, and then hold that till expiration. That's what I'm looking at doing right now to save myself on that. So I am down significantly on that right now. I did not play that super well. I was thinking it would hit the mid ATR band and start to bounce up, which it did, but then it got a strong move down and came and just beat down. And I probably should have seen that coming. Like I saw this white one and I was like, yeah, it's gonna curl back over, and then it just came back just twice as hard to the downside and put me down about $200 on that, which is about 45-50% down from where I entered the position. So that's not great. I do like that it's holding up here. If it gets below 146.48, I would expect it to come down to 143. I'm going to wait for it to start to bottom out, right? Wherever it decides to bottom out, I am going to roll for a at or near the money put another week out, and I'm going to collect more premium, and that's all I'm going to do on that. NVIDIA, let's take a look at NVIDIA. So NVIDIA, my play on NVIDIA Let's go to the daily. We have earnings on Wednesday. Now, I did say before that I was going to close my position before Wednesday, before earnings on Wednesday. I'm not going to do that anymore. Here's the reason why. So the expected move for earnings is plus minus about 14% or plus minus $14, or sorry, 12% or about plus minus $12. Okay, this is what I'm thinking. So since the premium I sold was quite high, because I sold it pretty close to the money when I did it, so I had about almost $700 worth of premium on that thing, right? Okay. If it comes down about 12 bucks or, $14, sorry, or about, 10 to 12%, we're looking at $112, right? So it could come all the way down to 112. If it comes down to $112 and I see any level of strength in that, I'm going to roll this out another month at the money and basically double my premium and then hold and just hold until I get up to 70, 80% profitability and then sell it again, right? Now, if it goes to the upside, $12 to $13 now, or $14 or so, now we're looking at $140. That takes my premium, puts me at 100% profitability pretty much. I will close that right away, and then I'll look for what it's going to do next. I'll give it like a few hours. I'll get onto the hourly or the 2-hour chart, see what kind of formations it's making. Is it going to come back down? Is it going to go up more? And then re-enter with another put. So that's why I'm going to hold. I'm going to hold because if it comes down really, really big, I'll roll it for an at-the-money put. An additional month out, so I'll roll it out until October instead of September, and just hold. And if it comes down even harder, I'll do it again. I'll do it again. So not really a big deal. And if it goes up in my favor, I will collect all that premium. I'll reassess the price there, see where I think it could retest, wait, and then do another put there for September again. So I'll be able to collect twice as much premium in the same amount of time if price goes up and I can roll another one, or not roll, but sell another one in September. And if it comes down, I'll just roll it out, collect my 2 months worth of premium, and just sit and wait. And I basically lose nothing, and I make double the premium regardless of what happens. But one situation I might be waiting an extra 30 days, whereas doubling the premium within the same 30 days. So there's really no loss to me holding through earnings when I think about it. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to hold through earnings on my NVIDIA put, and I'll let you know how that goes on Thursday when I wake up in the morning to see if my account is blowing up or if it is dropping, if it's just cratering. Anyways, that's all I've got for you today. Please like, comment, subscribe, share this video if you found it informative or entertaining, and check out the Trade Cave store, link in the description, as well as the channel bio, and have a profitable day.